Hello and welcome to Wednesday's Words of Worship. As we record this short message, I think it's necessary to address the horrible tragedy that happened in Texas. I cannot imagine the weight of grief and loss that hangs over those families and that community. Social media has erupted with people who are rightfully angry and frustrated with the absolute senselessness of this type of tragedy. We have a tendency to become angry, and we shake our fists at heaven, and we ask why God would allow something like this to happen. And then there are others who, in their frustration, demand more strict laws and legislation which they believe will somehow stop this kind of violence. And through it all, there will probably never be an adequate answer as to why this happened. And if there was an answer, it would do very little to allay the grief and the loss of those families. And imposing restrictions on guns and weapons will never resolve the presence of evil in our fallen world. As Christians, we believe in the sovereignty and omnipotence of God. However, we must be careful to balance God's attributes with His free gift of free will. We have freedom to make uncoerced choices. And we need to remember that a man chose to commit this horrible act of evil. Today we see evil carried out by humans under the influence of evil, under the influence of rebelliousness, and sadly even those suffering from mental illness. Now this evil is in part caused by, but not always directly perpetrated by Satan himself. Humankind was gifted with free will with which we can choose to do good or we can choose to do evil. We can choose to obey God or choose to disobey God. In a fallen and imperfect world, people who have free will sometimes commit heinous acts of evil. As Christians, let's be mindful not to allow the evil one to cause even more division and destruction by our reactions to this initial evil act. What if we allowed the empathy and compassion that we feel for that community now to impact the way that we treat everyone that we meet? What if we shared others' burdens all the time and loved that type of empathy and compassion and loved people with it each and every day? And in John 13, Jesus said that everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. So rather than allowing Satan to cause more division and destruction through our reactions and our agendas, let's allow people to know that we are truly His disciples because we love one another. When this video is over, please take a few moments to pray earnestly for the people in that Texas community. And until I see you again next week, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord cause His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift up His countenance towards you and give you peace. Amen.